You're listening to the Small Business Talk podcast with Cathy Smith.
Small Business Talk is a podcast for business owners and entrepreneurs who want a better way to run their businesses without spending years doing it the hard way. Small Business Talk is hosted by Cathy Smith, who has run the same marketing agency for more than 17 years and helped hundreds of business owners achieve their marketing goals.
Welcome to Small Business Talk, episode 194. Today, I'd like to talk to you about adding value, what you see as value and what your clients see as value. And is it the same thing? Sometimes, yes, but sometimes no. So in today's fast-paced, ever-evolving business landscape, how do you stay ahead of the curve, especially when we're talking about marketing? As professionals, we're quite often in dynamic fields, and we must constantly strive to add value and bring innovative solutions to our clients. Or do we have to? Sometimes old is new. Sometimes new is old. So throughout my 22 years of experience in marketing, I've come to realise that things do not always work in marketing. Sometimes you have to stick to the tried and true. Sometimes you have to innovate. And sometimes you just have to test and measure. So how are you adding value to your customers? So sometimes when you target a cold audience, if you haven't warmed them up, if they don't know who you are, they're never going to buy. That trust is not there. So you have to think about that before you spend money on advertising, particularly paid advertising. Organic advertising, that can be a different matter, but it's going to be a much slower burn. So having a strategy for both is really important. Even the big ones missed the mark. Kodak missed such an opportunity to transform lives. Did you know that Kodak, one of the engineers working for Kodak, actually developed the first digital camera? He was told not to worry about it too much. It was big, it was slow, it had such low resolution, and you had to hook it up to a TV before you could do anything with it. It wouldn't take off. Don't worry about it. Then Kodak actually bought a photo sharing service. What they wanted to do with that was use it to get people to print their digital prints so that they could then use their printing. Because after all, Kodak was all about film. So imagine what would have happened if they had have used their slogan of the day about capturing moments. What would have happened if it was share moments, shared life? We might have had quite a different world to what we have today, especially in the digital marketing realm. So imagine the possibilities that could have been there if they just looked a little bit further ahead. And sometimes that's what we need to do with our marketing as well. We need to think about what it is going to be for not just now, not just the instant sale, but the customer journey, the lifetime of that customer. And we need to build that trust so that the customer or the potential customer can see themselves in that transformation. So whether you're selling food that's going to make a lovely dinner or whether you're selling coaching that could transform their life, it's still some sort of transformation. And that's what we need to get across. Quite often it's about market research. It's about what your customers are already doing, what they want to do, where the gaps in the market are. So Coke was another one that made a big boo-pa. They announced the new Coke. They were changing the formula. Unfortunately, that was a $30 million mistake. They didn't go out to their customers and talk to them. They just sprung it on them. And of course, there was such a big revolt about it. Eventually, they did bring it back as the classic Coke, and the new Coke went on to be a different variety of Coke, but the damage was done. So are you adding value to your customers? Are you talking to your existing loyal customers about what they want, what they see as value? We get caught up in the moment and think that we need to add more and more and more, where quite often, particularly for course creators, less can be so much more. So adding value quite often can be paring it down, making it more simple, stopping the overwhelm. Maybe you're giving them too much content. Maybe that's why your marketing's not working, because it's too overwhelming. It's not hitting that specific spot, that one thing that the customer actually needs. Take direct mail, for instance. We all said that was dead. Well, not all of us, quite a few people. But now it's become a new way to market because it's not done so much. Our inboxes are absolutely full, but our mailboxes, our letterboxes, quite often are empty. And if they are getting things, they're either getting parcels, so they're bigger, or if you're still getting a few bills by mail, they're not that interesting to go and look at. If you can do something that's a bit out of the box, a bit interesting, that can be a great way to do cut through. But the whole thing with marketing and adding value to your customers is having a strategy, making sure that you're doing what your customer wants. So if you haven't been speaking to your loyal customers for a while, maybe that's a good place to start. And as a marketing coach, that's what I do all the time. I help people to get that strategy down pat, work out what's going to work for them, because it's no one thing fits all. What works for some people doesn't work for others. What works for you now may not work later. What didn't work for you last time? Well, with a tweak or two, that might work now too. So just think about how you can add value to your customers. So the better you know your existing customers, the better you can serve them, then the better you'll be able to attract new ones as well. Take it easy. Have a great week. And SBT audience, remember, enjoy your journey.
Don't forget to subscribe to Small Business Talk podcast and head on over to smallbusinesstalk.com.au/downloads for all the show notes and links to this episode. Remember, to be great, you must start. Pick one tip from today's episode, take action and implement it. Let's meet again next week at the same time and place. Until then, take action. And SBT community, enjoy your journey.